Tatas, headlamps, Hooters, coconuts, airbags, the twins, and I'm sure you could probably think about 100 other names for them. I personally just like to call them boobs. I'm sure whether you're male or female, at one point of your life, you have thought about boobs. But have you ever thought what the actual purpose for boobs are? Boobs are actually meant to feed children. I am Jessica Miller, and today I'm going to tell you what breastfeeding is, what formula feeding is, what is both, and why breastfeeding is better than formula feeding. So for those of you who don't know, breastfeeding happens after a woman gives birth. Breast milk is produced in her breast, and the baby latches onto the nipple and sucks milk out of her breast. Formula is a powdered milk substitute that is a substitute for breast milk, and you mix it with water and you feed it to the baby. So now that we know what formula feeding is and breastfeeding is, I'm going to talk about the different types of breast milk. After a woman gives birth, the first type of milk that's produced is called colostrum. Colostrum is also known as liquid gold. It's known by this because it is yellowish, kind of gold, and it has awesome benefits. According to Stacy Rubin in the ABCs of breastfeeding, colostrum contains high levels of immunoglobulin A, which protects the baby's developing gastrointestinal tract from foreign germs and allergens. About 2 to 4 days later after birth, transitional milk is produced. According to Stacy Rubin, transitional milk has high concentrations of living white cells called macrophages that continue the work of providing immunological protection to your newborn. After that, mature milk is produced, and according to Stacy, mature milk results in the perfect balance of proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals for the baby. Now that you know the different types of breast milk, I'm going to tell you the benefits of the baby. The first important thing to remember is that human breast milk is made for human babies. Therefore, it's going to have all of the things that human babies need. According to the Department of Health and Human Services of the Women's Health in their article, Benefits of Breastfeeding, breast milk is more readily digestible and less stressful on the immature infant kidneys, which means less constipation for the baby. According to the Leche League International in their book called The Womanly Art of Breastfeeding, they state that researchers have found substantial evidence that breastfeeding lowers the risk of sudden infant death syndrome. This is also known as SIDS. As already mentioned, breast milk has a lot of immune protection. This is important because a healthier immune system means a healthier baby. According to Rachel Hale in Infant Nutrition and Benefits of Breastfeeding, the evidence for the beneficial role of breast milk is strongest for gastrointestinal infections, respiratory infections, reduced risk of obesity later in life, and improved long-term cardiovascular health. There has also been some research to suggest that there may be a beneficial role in protecting against allergens, urinary tract infections, and insulin-dependent diabetes. As you can see, breast milk doesn't just benefit a baby while they're breastfeeding, but it continues to be beneficial throughout their life. Now that we know the benefits for the baby, we're going to move on to the benefits for the mother. One of the most common talked about benefits for the mother is weight loss. Breastfeeding burns calories, so when a mother is breastfeeding, they're also burning calories. Talk about the world's easiest workout. According to Rachel Hale in Infant Nutrition and the Benefits of Breastfeeding, some of the health benefits for the mom are reducing the risk of breast cancer, higher bone density, which means reduced risk for osteoporosis, lowered stress levels, and fertility regulation. An economic of breastfeeding is that it's free. You literally save hundreds of dollars by not buying formula. A convenient thing about breastfeeding is that women carry their breasts with them everywhere they go. so they're always there whenever you need to feed the baby. Now that you know what the benefits of breastfeeding for the baby and the mother are, I'm going to talk about what is in formula and what the risks are. The first thing that is important to know about formula is that it is man-made. Therefore, according to Stacy Rubin in the ABCs of Breastfeeding, the best scientists in the world cannot recreate breast milk's more than 200 components in a laboratory. That being said, most of formula is synthetic ingredients. They are inferior to breast milk. The most abundant ingredient in formula is powdered milk, which is cow's milk. I know this is surprising, but cow's milk is made for cows, and it has everything that a cow needs in it. Not everything that babies need, humans at least. So these nutrients and vitamins that are missing need to be synthetically added into formula. But as stated earlier, they cannot recreate all of the natural components of breast milk. One risk of formula is that it could be contaminated. Contamination could deal with something minor as having the baby spit up, or something major like death. According to Melinda McNeil and Cheryl Abrams in their article, What Are the Risks Associated with Formula Feeding?, results revealed that any formula use is associated with an increased incidence of ear infections, asthma, type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, atopic dermatitis, and hospitalization secondary to lower respiratory tract infections. Some people think that using formula once or twice isn't a big deal, but according to Stacy Rubin in the ABCs of Breastfeeding, even one exposure to formula can upset the delicate balance in your baby's intestines. According to Alison Stube in her article, The Risk of Not Breastfeeding for Mothers and Infants, studies suggest that formula feeding is associated with a 1.6 to 2.1 fold increased odds of sudden infant death syndrome. So now that you know what formula feeding is and breastfeeding is, and the benefits for the mother and the child, and why breastfeeding is better than formula feeding, always remember breast is best.